22,857. That's how many WC54 ambulances Chrysler built between 1942 and 1944, each one destined to become a lifeline on the world's bloodiest battlefields. While Sherman tanks and B-17 bombers captured the public imagination, these olive-drab boxes on wheels were quietly saving lives from Normandy to New Guinea, earning a different kind of glory, measured not in enemy kills, but in wounded soldiers brought home alive. The Dodge WC54 emerged from a simple military requirement: build an ambulance that could go anywhere a Jeep could go, carry 4 wounded men on stretchers, and survive frontline conditions. What Chrysler delivered exceeded every specification. Built on the proven WC series chassis, the 54 featured a 230 cubic-inch inline-6 engine producing 92 horsepower, a 4-wheel drive system with low-range gearing, and a reinforced body that could withstand shell fragments and small arms fire. But specifications tell only part of the story. Corporal James Mitchell, a medic with the 45th Infantry Division, remembered his WC54 during the Italian campaign. "We called her Lucky Lucy. She took us through rivers, up mountains, through artillery barrages. One time near Anzio, shrapnel punctured the radiator and 2 tires. We patched her up with medical tape and kept driving. Had 12 wounded boys in back, way over capacity. But Lucy didn't complain. She just kept grinding forward." The interior design reflected hard-won battlefield experience. 4 folding litter racks allowed rapid loading under fire. A personnel heater, revolutionary for military vehicles, prevented shock victims from freezing. Blackout lights enabled night operations. The attendant's seat swiveled to reach all patients. Storage compartments held plasma, morphine, sulfa powder, and surgical instruments. Every detail served a purpose: save time, save lives. What made the WC54 exceptional wasn't advanced technology, but thoughtful engineering. The engine, derived from Dodge's civilian trucks, could run on low-grade gasoline available anywhere. Mechanics could service it with basic tools. The electrical system was waterproofed for river crossings. The high ground clearance and short wheelbase allowed it to navigate shell craters and forest trails that stopped larger vehicles. During the Battle of the Bulge, WC54s evacuated wounded through snowdrifts that buried everything else. The Pacific Theater presented different challenges. On Okinawa, Navy Corpsman Robert Yamamoto drove a Marine WC54, nicknamed Mercy Mobile, directly into active combat zones. The Geneva Convention said ambulances were non-combatants, but tell that to a Japanese machine gunner. We removed the red crosses after the first week. They were bullet magnets. Drove with helmets on the roof to deflect sniper fire. That dodge took incredible punishment. Bullet holes everywhere. One fender completely gone, but the engine never quit. Beyond battlefield evacuation, WC54s filled countless roles. Field hospitals used them as mobile operating rooms. Signal corps installed radio equipment for command posts. Graves registration units employed them for their grim but necessary work. In liberated areas, they transported civilians to medical care. During the Rhine crossing, modified WC54s carried assault boats. Their versatility made them indispensable to every division. The numbers reveal their impact. Medical statistics show that soldiers wounded in World War II had a 96% survival rate if they reached a field hospital, compared to just 74% in World War I. The speed of evacuation made the difference, and WC54s provided that speed. A wounded soldier could go from frontline to surgical care in under an hour, revolutionary for the time. Technical Sergeant Marie Kowalski, one of the few women to drive WC54s in combat zones, served with the 13th Field Hospital in France. People think of us as angels of mercy, but really we were truck drivers doing a job. A hard job. Loading wounded at night. No lights. Shells falling. Trying not to jostle the stretchers while racing over bombed roads. The truck had to be reliable because lives literally depended on it. The WC54 never let us down. After the war, thousands of surplus WC54s found new purposes. Rural fire departments converted them to rescue vehicles. Civilian ambulance services operated them into the 1960s. Developing nations received them as military aid. Today, restored WC54s appear at military vehicle rallies, their boxy profiles immediately recognizable to veterans who rode in them 75 years ago. The last surviving WC54 assembly line worker, 96-year-old Dorothy Henderson of Detroit, recalled the urgency of production. "We built them around the clock, 3 shifts, 7 days a week. Every woman on that line had someone overseas, husband, brother, son. We knew boys were dying for lack of medical evacuation, so we built those ambulances like our own family would ride in them. Because somewhere, somebody's family would." Perhaps the most eloquent tribute came from General George Patton, not known for sentimentality, who wrote after the war, "The Jeep won battles, but the WC54 won the war. Every commander knows that soldiers fight harder when they trust they'll be cared for if wounded. Those Dodge ambulances gave my men that confidence. They knew that if they fell, we'd get them out. That's worth more than artillery." The WC54 succeeded through simplicity, reliability, and purpose-built design. In a war of mechanized complexity, it remained basic: an engine, 4 wheels, and space for stretchers. Yet from that simplicity emerged one of World War II's most essential vehicles, one that measured victory not in ground gained but in lives saved. Each of those 22,000 ambulances carried its own chronicle of midnight runs under fire, impossible evacuations, and wounded soldiers who lived to see home again. That remains their enduring legacy, not as machines of war, but as instruments of mercy in humanity's darkest hour.